Well, my buddy Josh is going to be mad at me because he's offered to let me use his studio to record these podcasts, and then you wouldn't have to see my face. He says he's got some video editing skills and so forth. So the iteration has begun, but he's going to be mad because I'm not listening to him, and I'm going to record episode 3 right here in my basement. Uh-oh, see, it's going bad already. Stay. Okay. So this episode I want to talk about climbing Maslow's pyramid. One of the coolest bits of science that I've learned is in the field of morality. Aside from the scientific method itself, I admire most a structure outlined by a gentleman named Abraham Maslow. He called it the hierarchy of needs. Check it out. Here's a brief overview. So imagine a pyramid, just a simple triangle, 2D pyramid. There are 5 levels of human needs to this pyramid. At the base is the physiological or the physical. Things like air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and sex. Moving up the pyramid, we have safety needs, then love and belonging, then esteem, and finally, right at the top is self-actualization. I'm going to start my advice to young people here at the base of his pyramid. The funny part is that this guy and his pyramid are one of the 10 top most quoted things from the last century in psychology. Yet in the 13 years of schooling I had leading up to college, I was taught none of it. Nowadays, I'm sure there isn't a kid who isn't taught and perhaps even a bit conscientious of air quality and climate change. But that's about the only improvement I've seen. This most excellent guide to the human condition is completely ignored by government public education. There's your first clue. Actually, let's start with the definition of one of my new favorite words. That word is ostensible. The definition of ostensible is stated or appearing to be true, but not necessarily so. Another definition is plausible rather than true. So back to public education or government school, their stated objective is an ostensible objective, not the actual. I'll leave the actual objective of public education for another time, but just understand that from my perspective, you have absolutely no duty to attend public school. Anything better you can do to get the hell out of there is a good thing. It's a trap for your mind. To back up this rather extreme view, let's look at Abraham's roadmap of human needs. Air, food, water, shelter, and sleep. Leaving off clothing and sex, which sometimes happens when you get rid of clothing, let's just look at these first 5 basics. I would change sleep to physical health, which includes sleep. Honestly, as a kid, I had taken air and good quality air for granted. It was just there, available to all, and only maybe a meteor or a volcano could really put a damper on things. Elon Musk is my favorite person. Could you tell? Well, no matter what the rest of the human world is doing to hurt or help the quality of our air, this man has nearly single-handedly ushered in the ultimate fix to the human-caused air quality problems. He's done it by presenting a cure for our energy problems. Energy is our main human resource because it is the key to getting just about everything else. The biggest source of energy we have available to us is the sun, nuclear fusion. Up till Elon came around, the only people using it as a source of electricity were a few homeowners and other dabblers in solar panels. Elon brought us the electric car, and his Tesla Motor Company has changed the industry as much as the gasoline car changed the horse and buggy industry. All hail Elon. What is the implication here? Birds teach their young to fly and to hunt for food. Humans now need to master the technology of hunting for energy. I would take that one step further and recommend not relying on your government to supply this most precious of resources. Thanks to all the brilliant individuals giving us exponentially cheaper and better solar panels, we are now in a position to become our own solar power company. I recommend that you gain some knowledge of electricity and of solar power generation in particular. Let's look now at shelter. I'll show you what I'm up to in the shelter department. Imagine if you had a place of your own that was inexpensive, maintained itself, and provided you water, electricity, food, and temperature control. How awesome would that be? I can tell you, I sometimes miss being 13 years old and living with mom and dad. No mortgage, no rent, no food or utility bills. At the same time, I'm so excited about all of the cool new options we all have available to us right now that can give us these things for not much money at all. School teaches the traditional American ways of doing shelter, and I can tell you it sucks. I've spent the past 28 years in the handyman business, fixing and building other people's houses. They are ovens and they are freezers. There's some insulation, yes, but not much, and they are expensive. We're taught to plan on spending between, $200,000 to maybe a couple of $1,000,000 for a house, and to work 40 years or so of your adult life paying the bank back for the loan you have to get in order to afford it. That plan sucks. Not to mention that everything in that house is designed to break after a decade or two. The siding fades and breaks, the roof falls apart and needs a major repair 4 times a century, paint cracks, furnaces and air conditioner units last only a decade or two, water heaters rust out, pipes and wires, well, nowadays you can do pretty well keeping them for a century or so. And the utilities. Don't get me started on the utilities. What I'm getting at is that Maslow was spot on with his pyramid. We need shelter. People are starting to think a little bit about sustainability, but not enough. I want to show you, by building one myself, of course, that we can have inexpensive shelter that will give us water, electricity, heat, and food. Consider the fact that your schools suck at teaching you how to get these things. It's way low on the educator's priority list, or not there at all. It's true that learning is part of life, and taking on the badge of student is very wise. But education is free now. YouTube and the internet are going to help you with your actual problems. Leave the teachers and your stressed out parents to their own plans. Discover your plans, and use the tools right at your fingertips to get out of schooling or indoctrination and begin your true education. Find out what's important to you. I'm not kidding about the indoctrination. That's what they do in school. They will tell you what they think you're going to need for your adult life, and they're wrong. Do you know how I know they're wrong? First off, ask them where they get their paycheck, and if they have to earn it like McDonald's has to earn your business. Secondly, the model they're working from that tells them what they need to teach you is over 100 years old. Do you think the game may have changed just a little bit since then? Yep. Guess what? My kids are homeschooled, and it turns out they like video games. Guess what you need for today's video games? Reading, writing, typing, spelling, and math. Without stepping a foot in public school, they learned most of what they know about those subjects from their mom, and the rest they learned from video games. Boom. Indoctrination. Sure, it's great when you have an awesome teacher, but it's up to you to find them and to persuade them to show you what they know. Don't sit in front of teachers you're forced to be with. That's a load of crap. That's slavery. Learn from cool people like Abraham Maslow. Check out what he's got and see if he's right. What if you had a good way of acquiring these basics of life he speaks of? Kind of sounds like that bird teaching its young how to survive. That's not what school is. Learn how to survive. Grow some food and eat it. Collect some water, filter it and drink it. Get a solar panel and charge up your phone. Build a roof and watch it keep you dry while it simultaneously collects rainwater for you. Build a sustainable toilet, such as a composting toilet. These are the basics that we're not being taught, and that's a crying shame, since there are thousands of creators and real educators with free content piped to you via Wi-Fi right to your phones. The real teachers have to compete for your attention. Stay as far away as you can from the ones who force you to listen to them. Question their motives. Don't be a slave. It's a great world. I'll do more than give advice on this stuff. I'll show you what I'm doing to become sustainable. You don't want to spend your life just providing the basics of life to you and your family, and neither do I. I've done it for way too long and it sucks. The technology is here and it's time to get the basics automatically providing themselves, so you and I can spend our lives doing the fun things that are calling to us if only we had the time. Sustainability, which is the key to Maslow's first level on the pyramid, will give you the time that you need. If we can master those basics, providing those needs, then they can serve us instead of us spending our lives serving them. I haven't said anything about health, but I'll go into that in the future episodes. I'll just leave you with the coolest thing I've learned about health just recently, and it's about sleep. Your brain uses about 20% of the energy your body consumes. Every part of your body uses energy, and every biological thing that uses energy creates waste. Scientists have recently learned that the waste that your brain makes, and remember that's 20% of all the waste created by your body, your brain crap just sits and accumulates in your brain while you're awake. It's only when you sleep that your brain flushes the waste, so to speak. So sleep is important. It gets the crap out of your brain. That's it for now. I've set up here a lot of work for future episodes. I'm going to have the instruction part, but a lot of future episodes I hope to be about the video content where I show my efforts at applying health tips, living sustainably, and any other real-life applications of the philosophy and advice I talk about here. I want to keep it real and build a community of like-minded people that help and learn from one another. The top of Maslow's hierarchy has never been closer to our reach than it is now, and I look forward to climbing his pyramid with you fellow humans. That's it for now.